Hey everyone, this is Mayan Gordon, streaming live here on Friday. I hope you guys all had an amazing week. First off, you guys know what to do. Post in the comments if you're watching right now, where are you watching from and what is one thing that you're grateful for today? I personally have so much to be grateful for today. Outside of this amazing community of people that I get to connect to, that I get to give value to, and kind of, make myself important. The only reason any of us is really important or feels important, I think, is by giving value to other people. And when we don't give value to other people, I think that's when we start to have a negative sense of feeling oftentimes in ourselves. And if you are in a rough spot right now, if you are struggling, I can promise you that what is going to take you out of that negative emotional space is by doing something nice, doing something valuable for someone else. No matter what situation you're in right now, you have tons of value as a human being to be able to contribute and give to other people. And it feels amazing. In fact, I think it's one of the things that we all can agree feels the best in the world. It feels much better than making money to actually be able to provide someone with true value that helps them and therefore validates and makes you important and significant in this world as well. So today I wanted to quickly talk about what are your three uniques? And I think this is a good concept to bring up because I know a lot of you guys are starting new businesses or have just launched new businesses out of this whole COVID situation. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe the job you've had is not as fulfilling or as steady as you once really thought it was. And because of that, you've decided to start your own business. I think that's awesome. I think you guys have tons of skills, tons of value to add to this world. But starting a new business is really hard. In fact, it's the hardest part of business is the beginning, right? You have to build traction, you have to build reputation. There's a lot you have to do to get things going in a new business. Now, luckily, I've actually started up 4 businesses in my lifetime so far that have all been successful, all made over 6 figures in the first year. Not 7 figures, but over, $100,000 in revenue in the first year on all my businesses. So I have a pretty good idea on how you can build some amount of traction from zero without any investment, from outside sources, and really just your own time, energy, investment, and usually sometimes a little bit of money involved on your side. So what does that look like? That looks like differentiating yourself from the beginning. You have to be different than the other products, the other brands, the other services that are out there if you want to get new customers, if you want to get clients, and if you want to start building a strong brand and a strong reputation. Now, it's often very hard to figure out what singularly makes me different than every other company. In fact, there isn't probably one thing that makes you different. If you could just point at one thing, there's almost guaranteed going to be another company that also does that same thing. What's really going to make you stand out is your combination of your 3 uniques. So it's not just one unique, one unique, one unique. It's that combination that's going to be different than everyone else's combination of what they offer. And I was actually talking with someone today, and they were telling me that their uniques were that they charge less, they have better customer service, and that they have better product. Now, those are all great things to say, but they're not very detailed. And when you say them, it's not going to hold a lot of weight unless you can say exactly how your product is better, exactly how is your service better, and exactly why is your price cheaper. Now, I would even go so far as to say that having price as a unique is not a good unique to have in the first place, because when you're building brand, you don't want to be competing on price. You want people to see your brand outside of a price comparison because that's where brand loyalty is built. In fact, customers tend to fall into 2 categories, either price shoppers or brand shoppers. Almost never is someone purchasing in both. They're not being loyal to a brand and trying to find the best price. It's one or the other. So from the get-go, you have to decide what game is it that you're trying to play. And if anyone's watching this right now and you have any questions about branding, about marketing, about getting your business or your product off the ground, please post in the comments now and we will definitely address those questions. So once you've figured out what your 3 uniques are, then what? Then you got to tell some stories, because just saying we make great websites, cool, so what? Doesn't really hold a lot of weight. It doesn't capture a lot of emotion. Saying we build great websites and here is Joe whose website we built, and after we built Joe's website, His life changed. Not only did his sales go up, but he had way less stress in his life. He had more time with his family. He had more opportunities. Making a story out of it is what's really going to connect with people, because not only then can they start to envision why they should use your product or service, but they can also really see themselves in the same position as Joe. It's hard sometimes for us to imagine and project ourselves into situations that we've never existed in, unless we can see someone else in that position. And then it becomes quite easy. We go, oh, I'd like to have Joe's position. I'd like to kind of be in Joe's spot right now. Joe used your service. That's how Joe got to that spot. Okay, I bet if I use your service, I'll be in Joe's spot too. And this is why I think storytelling is so powerful. Now, what happens if you're brand new and you don't have any stories to tell? Well, that's step number one, you guys. You got to get some stories. You got to put in whatever work you have to do to create a good story. Because I promise you that a good story will drive clients, it will drive sales, and it will drive your brand reputation. We remember stories. Storytelling has been part of human culture and human society since we could communicate. Probably since before we could even speak, we were telling stories, maybe with hand gestures or grunting like cavemen. I don't know what happened back then, but I'm almost certain, even without having been there, that we told stories long, long, long before we had many other parts of society. Really take the time to think about that and what that means to us as human beings, at how impactful and important stories are to us. And I can tell you guys that a really big part of my journey has been sharing my continual and progressive story. A lot of you guys might know me as an entrepreneur, but I'm really hoping that you also know me through my stories and the things that I've been through, and that those stories help you connect with me on a deeper level of just seeing someone else who is also in business. You understand, I'm also someone who's been through struggle, and I've overcome struggle. I'm someone just like you who has been in positions where I feel not good about myself, where I've had to look at my surrounding circumstances and figure out how to overcome that. And those are the things that are really going to connect us in a way that makes it powerful and then leads to strong business, strong brand, and strong service and value provided to your customer base. What's up, Bonnie? How's it going? Julian, absolutely. Keep giving value. Always keep giving value. And I think one of the key turning points for me in my life and in my businesses was when I started to detach value from money, with the belief that money follows value. And that if I could stop focusing entirely on money, I would actually have a much higher capacity to deliver value. And here's how I thought about that and was able to make that shift in my mind. Your brain only ever has so much thought capacity and thought power. So if you're thinking about money, let's say 10% of your brain power is getting taken up by thinking about bills, thinking about, I have to make this much money, thinking about money in any capacity at all. That means you only have 90% left to deliver and think about value. And maybe you're thinking about a bunch of other stuff too. But imagine what happens when you're able to remove that 10% focused on money and put it into more value. Sometimes it's not a major difference that separates the winners from the losers. Oftentimes it's 1% difference. We're all going to be the same. We're all super hard workers, right? We're all very dedicated to our families, our communities, and our businesses. So what is it that really separates us? It's that 1 degree of difference that makes all the difference. I'm sure you guys know this if you think about it. There's been, I'm sure, instances in your own life where you've been working really hard, and it was that extra 1% that you gave that you could directly see contributed to your success. This is the truth of the world. A lot of us have similar circumstances, similar resources, similar intellect. You guys, I am not smarter than any of you. What I am is maybe a little bit harder working, a little bit more dedicated, a little bit more curious. It could be any of these things. You got to figure out what is your one thing that you're willing to give that extra 1% on. And that's going to be your unique. Find those 3 things and you've got 3 uniques. Put those together, and that's a powerful thing to drive your business, drive your brand, drive sales, drive customers, drive happiness. It is. It is always the toughest percent. Unless you think about it like this. It's only 1% extra. It's like weightlifting and exercise. You could run a certain amount till you're tired. But if you run 1 minute, 5 minutes past when you're really tired, that's where results come in. It's not about weightlifting the 15 reps. It's about the one extra rep that you feel like you can't do, but you use your brain power and you muster up enough strength to attempt it and do it anyways. And maybe you only get half a curl in. But that extra half a curl is where all your muscle is going to be built. And the same is true of business, you guys. And in fact, this is why I love sports so much. It's why I love athletics and working out, is there is just such an incredible parallel to sports, weightlifting, health, and to your business. The health of your body and the health of your business are incredibly paralleled. I'm going to read a couple comments here and give a couple shout outs. What's up, Jeremy? Thank you guys for tuning in. Isaac, I appreciate that you agree with me. Let's see if I pronounce this one right. Correct me if I'm wrong with the name pronunciations here. Eunice, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. How can we get our business successful, and is the business management important to be able to achieve our goals? Great question. So yes, absolutely. Being organized leads to speed. If your business is not organized, it is very hard to execute quickly, and it is very hard to execute at volume. And speed and volume are both always going to matter, especially now that that technology has allowed so many people to produce at the same level. It used to be you had to be smarter to be able to produce more. That is no longer the case. There is someone who could have 0 degree. You might have your PhD, and there could be someone who has no degree, never been to college, and they can very quickly catch up to the amount of knowledge that you have by reading stuff online. Information is available and accessible to us everywhere. So if you think about someone having literally the exact same and all of the information that you have, again, what is going to make you stand out? What is going to make you different? Oftentimes, in fact, the one thing that will always make you different is your unique set of experiences. So a great exercise, and if you guys have some time this weekend or tonight to do this, take 30 minutes, go to your room, grab a little treat, light a candle, build a little environment where you can really reflect and think about your experiences and think about what things in those experiences have you developed? What skills have you developed that might be unique? What experiences have you gone through that have really impacted you? And write those down. Make sure you write them down. That way you can always come back to reference them. Also, writing them down will help them stand out in the forefront of your mind instead of being sit back in the subconscious part of your mind. Once you're able to start putting some of your unique experiences into that full consciousness of your brain's going to do some pretty fun things with it. One of those things that your brain is going to do is make new connections. In fact, our brain absolutely loves and cannot help finding patterns, finding connections. So once you're thinking, man, I know that this experience I went through, I know that when I was 16 and I went to Mexico, and I'm not making this up, this is totally my experience, you guys. When I was 16, I went to Mexico by myself for a month and a half, and I lived there. I had crazy number of experiences that I know almost no one else had. Now, when I combine that with all the other things that I've done and think about how was that experience connected to my future experiences? What are some things I learned through that experience? I can start to build and understand what my uniques are today and start to understand what things I've already learned that I can continue to learn, continue to push in an interesting way to continue developing my uniqueness. All right, let's see. We got Kyle. What's good? Thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you at the next Champion Roundtable meeting. Julian says, how do you keep value away without devaluing yourself to their eyes? I've given away 2 workshops to NFP, which brought them hundreds of leads, never shared those leads, and keep asking for more free workshops, free social media promotion, and free marketing. So Okay, this is what I'd call setting expectations, Julian. So I don't know if in the beginning, did you have a clear conversation with them as to, hey guys, I'm happy to do this for you, but I know that I'm going to be providing you a lot of value. I'd like to ask you guys, what am I getting out of it? And this is something I routinely do. When I don't clearly see what value I'm going to get, I ask people, I say, I totally get why you want me to speak to these people about TikTok. But outside of a small amount of promotion, what am I going to be getting out of it? I could talk about TikTok on my channel. So why should I talk about TikTok on your channel? And making them say a clear reason and helping them identify what they're going to be contributing to you is definitely an important part, I think, of that process. Because honestly, maybe they just haven't even thought, maybe they think you're getting value out of it and they just don't even know that you're not. So I think addressing the issue head on and saying, hey guys, I really enjoy doing these workshops for you. I think that, I feel good about providing all the value to all these people and that you got a bunch of leads. But so far, I haven't gotten anything out of it. And I know that you guys care about this relationship. Is there something that you guys can think of that might be helpful to me? Especially because sometimes we ourselves don't really think of the value. Maybe we're unaware of some of the potential ways that that customer, that partner, that other business could help us. But they have all the info about their business. They know their resources. They know what they can do. And sometimes just asking is really all it takes. So I would definitely encourage you to message them, reach out in a super kind way, show appreciation, say, hey, I appreciate that you guys wanted to help get my name out there, position me as an expert. But right now, these are the things that I'm really looking for. These are the things that are important to me. Is there any way that you guys could possibly help me with that? It would mean a lot to me. And I think that oftentimes where I see people go wrong or not make a mistake, but lose out on opportunity would be that when you start to not feel like you're getting value, oftentimes you get upset. And when you get upset, it always, always, always will affect your communication style. It will affect which words you choose to write in a message. It will affect your tone. And so it's really important to maintain a sense of, I would say, first accountability, to realize that, it's my job to let them know what I need. That's on me. And I clearly didn't do that. So let me come back, let them know that I do need something, but let me do it in a way where I'm still feeling grateful, where I haven't put those bad feelings inside of me to affect my communication. And I can promise you guys, I can promise you, when you keep your heart and your intentions pure, good things come back to you. And this is a huge shift that I personally have seen so dramatically from 2 years ago when I was in a space where I felt taken advantage of a lot of time. I had this employee, which I was not doing a good job at all being a boss for. But I felt like I was. I felt like I was giving this employee so much, not realizing that my communication style was incredibly hindering to the actual value and the actual emotional support that I thought I was providing. I wasn't. I was not making that employee happy. I wasn't making them feel supported, despite giving them a job, despite trying very, very hard in my communications to always let them know that I was there for them. Because I had that feeling in my heart of them taking from me, it came across and they felt it. They felt this tension that I had, and it made more tension. And it was never resolved until there was kind of a bad falling out with this employee. We ended up paying them an amount of money that they requested that they were not owed at all. That was not on the books, because they felt that they were owed it, and we just needed to end the relationship on, for us, a ethical and positive note, even if financially we were taking a big hit. And so that whole situation really caused me to reflect, because it's hard when you give your heart and your soul into something and the results just aren't there. But I can almost guarantee you, all of the time that happens, it is on you. And it kind of sucks to think that, right? It sucks to think I tried my best and it wasn't good enough. But the real facts of the world is, you guys, there are going to be a lot of times when you try your best and it truly is not good enough. It doesn't mean that you can't be better. What it means is that you have to be honest and real with yourself to understand and reflect, is there something I could have done differently? Why did this outcome happen? And what was my accountability? What was my role in that situation? So those are kind of my words of advice. Absolutely, if you guys have any questions after this, please feel free to follow up with me. Send me a message. I love supporting every single one of you within this community, and I believe in each and every one of you to be incredibly successful. I think you're all smarter than me. I think you all have more potential than me, and that's saying that with a huge amount of belief in myself. I think I'm freaking awesome, you guys, which means I think that you're freaking amazing. Not just awesome, you guys are incredible, and most of you just don't even know it yet. And I'm so excited for those days when you really discover little things about yourself that really empower yourself, that really make you start to see your true potential. What's up, Paul? How's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Steven, appreciate you tuning in from Presque Isle, Michigan. That sounds fancy. I bet it's hot and humid in Michigan right now. What's up, Anna? Leaving Atlanta on your way to Chattanooga. Grateful for your yoga practice. Amazing. Love hearing that. Carlos, how's it going? Joseph, Adam from upstate New York. You guys are all fantastic and amazing. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom of the comments, see if there's any questions, and then we're going to close it out for tonight. I'll let you guys all get back to your amazing lives, your amazing families. But I really do want to say that I think most of us have an incredible amount of work to do on the inside. I still have an incredible amount of work to do on the inside. I've seen myself come so far, but there's still a lot of days when I notice, you know what, Mayan? You are too focused on money, and that's not you. That's not the you want to be. Remove those thoughts and dive into how good it feels to provide value. Because when you really can completely get rid of your wants and be in full service to other people, it feels amazing. Outside, it feels so good. You don't care if you made money that day. You are so happy at the amount of value you provided. And in turn, through providing that amount of value, really good opportunities are going to come your way. And you're probably not going to see them. You're not going to have a great day and think, oh, I know that because of that great day, I'm going to get someone reaching out tomorrow about this specific thing. It's just going to happen, and you're just going to have to believe in it. But once you believe in it, once you commit, and once you see the results, it becomes easier and easier to do each time. Oh, thank you so much, Bonnie. Appreciate you. Let's see, Kyle says he shared a personal story today on Zoom group chat with like 7 prospects that really impacted the call. The call went amazing because the story resonated deeply with them. Absolutely. Personal stories are so incredible for being able to connect us, especially because oftentimes we have to be vulnerable to share a story, right? A lot of times our stories are about us being imperfect human beings. Because when really are we perfect? It's very small amount of the time when we act 1,000% in line with the person that we see ourselves being in our head. In fact, that's the whole journey of life, is trying to really mold yourself, grow yourself into the potential that you see for yourself. And as you grow into this potential, you start to see that more potential exists. So it's a never-ending journey. But what it also means is as you evolve, that you start to see, man, I wasn't as great a person as I thought I was back then. And that's okay. In fact, that's actually a beautiful thing to realize I'm better than I was before. And I want to share who I was before because I'm not ashamed of it. We're all imperfect. And I'm not that person anymore. I'm this better version of myself. And to share an older version of myself's okay. I'm not attached to that person. In fact, I'd like to learn from that person that I used to be. And I'd like everyone to learn from that person that I used to be. All right, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Again, please reach out to me if you have any questions. If you need any level of support, I'm always here for you guys. I believe so much in you, and I think that there's really, really great things to come for each and every one of you. As you reflect, as you improve yourself, the world will come to you. Have an amazing night, and please try and do one nice, kind thing for someone tonight, tomorrow, this weekend. I promise you, you'll feel amazing from it, and good things will come your way.